All right, guys, welcome to part 2 of our video series on striking techniques for our fitness kickboxing class. In this video, we're going to talk about our leg strikes. So we're going to talk about our knees, our push kicks, and our round kicks. We're going to talk about the differences between each one, and then how to throw each one the most safe and effective way possible. So let's get to it. All right, so before we go into detail, let's take a quick preview of each leg strike that we're going to throw. So we're going to start out with our back round kick. Then we're going to throw our switch kick. Then we'll throw our teep or our lead push kick. Then we'll have our back push kick. And then we'll have our knees. All right, so we're going to start out with our back round kick. Our round kicks and our switch kicks are going to be our two most common kicks in class because many of our combinations will either include or finish with one of these kicks. So we're going to start out with the back round kick. If you remember from the first video, our power leg should be in the back of our stance here. So this is the kick that I'm going to be throwing. Since I'm right-handed, for me, that is my right leg. In my nice balanced stance, 4 things I want to think about. Number 1, probably most importantly, is where my leg is hitting the bag at, right? So I don't want my foot to be what makes contact with the bag. I don't want my foot and little bones in my foot to take all the impact of the bag. I want the hard part of my leg to take the impact of the bag. So I want that to be my shin, right? So number 1, you want your shin to hit the bag, not your foot. Number 2 is I want to rotate my hips, right? So when I do this, for a good thing to think about is to try to get your knee on the opposite side of the bag, right? So when I throw this, my knee is across the bag here. So if I'm trying to kick on this side, my knee is over here. Right? Third, we're going to pivot on this front foot. So I don't want this foot to stay flat and hard into the ground. Whenever I start this kick, my heel is going to rotate towards the bag. So I'm up on my toes and my heel rotates towards the bag. So I can generate all my power here by rotating my whole hips into this kick. Right? And then lastly, if we're throwing leg kicks, we want to think about we're chopping down into the leg, right? So we want to cut down into the leg right above the knee. So you can think about where that's at on the bag, but we want to chop down into it. We don't want to come up into it here. So you can imagine there's a stool right here, and we're going to kick over top of that stool and chop into the leg. So all together, it should look something like this. All right, so now we're going to talk about our switch kick. We're going to talk about 2 different ways to throw the switch kick, but all of the same principles we just talked about with the back round kick are going to apply to the switch kick as well. The hip rotation, the pivoting on our toes, and then most importantly, landing with our shin, not our foot. So we're in our stance. Our switch kick is going to come off of our lead leg, right? So just you can think about it as a lead leg round kick or a switch kick here. So we're in our nice balanced stance here. The first way we can throw this, we're going to hop, switch our stance, right? And then we just basically throw a back leg ground kick and reset, right? So again, for that one, we hop to switch our stance, and then all the principles apply here. We land with our shin, we pivot on our toes, we rotate our hips, and we cut across the bag. So all together, and then we always go right back to our normal stance. The other way we can throw this is off of a combination here, right? So for example, if I throw my 2, I can step with my 2 to switch my stance and then throw that lead leg kick, right? So one more time, nice balanced stance. The 2 ways to throw this: hop, switch, reset back to our stance, or off of a combination, 2, step, switch. Always right back to that normal stance, ready to go, making sure we're landing with our shin, we're rotating our hips, and we're cutting across the bag. All right, guys, so next we're going to talk about our push kicks. And we're going to talk about our lead push kick, which is often referred to as the teep. And then we're going to talk about our back push kick as well. But before we do that, it's always a good idea anytime you come into class to get a good idea of where your strike should be landing on the bag, right? So if we're throwing to the head, we want that to be at eye level here or chin level. So for me, that's about middle of the logo here. body strike's going to be about right here. And then again, with the leg strikes, we want it to be just above our knee, right? So something to think about no matter what punch or strike we're throwing is where we're landing at on the bag, right? A lot of times with our punches, you'll see people punching down here like this. It's not realistic, and you're going to get a better workout punching up here at eye level, right? But let's get back to our push kicks. So with our push kicks, we're going to start with our lead push kick or our teep. The biggest thing on both of these is that we want to kick with our hips and not just our legs, right? So you'll hear me say this a bunch in class, but we're not kicking a football. We're trying to kick somebody through a wall, right? So as we throw this kick, we're going to keep our hands up. That's the first detail. Keep those hands up. The second, we're going to bring our knee up, and then I want to drive forward with my hips. So as my knee comes up, I push kick that body all the way through the bag. So not kicking a ball, kicking through the wall. So hands up, knee comes up, drive forward with our hips there, right? So everything is coming forward. We don't want to bounce off this bag backwards, right? We want to drive through the bag. And then we always want to end up right back in our normal perfect balance stance, right? So lead push kick or teep, knee comes up, we drive forward with our hips, right? Next, our back push kick, the exact same thing. Again, we're not kicking that football. We're not trying to punt here. We're trying to push somebody through a wall, right? So hands stay up high in a nice balanced stance. We bring our knee up, and then we're going to drive through the bag here. Always coming right back to that same spot, right? I don't want to bounce off the bag and go backwards. I really want to kick all the way through the bag here. So back push kick, always right back to our balanced stance. All right, guys, and then the last technique for this video is going to be our knee strike, right? We're going to talk about two different ways to throw the knees, but hopefully you guys are seeing a pattern now across the first video and this video that we're not just throwing these strikes with our arms and our legs, right? The strikes need to come from our hips and our core whenever we're rotating into each one, right? That's how we're going to generate the most power, and that's how we're going to get the best workout, right? You're going to get a full body workout doing it that way, as opposed to just throwing with arms and legs. You're not going to generate any power. Your arms might get tired, but you're not going to get that core workout and that full body workout that we're really looking for. So let's start with our first version of the knee here. We're going to be just like our push kicks. All the principles are going to be the same. We want our hands up high. Whenever we bring this knee up, we're driving forward with our hips here, right? We're not just coming up straight. We want to drive forward with our hips here, right? Throwing our whole hip movement into that knee strike. Same thing with the lead knee. We're just going to take a step and drive forward there. Kind of a switch knee, just like we did with our switch kick. We're switching our stance and then throwing that lead knee there. Always right back to this balanced, comfortable stance. If we always go right back to a comfortable stance, it's easier to throw that next strike, and we can just keep the workout going, right? Next one, we're here nice tight to the bag. We're gonna slam our knee into the side of the bag, right? We're gonna bring this knee up and twist into the side. When I do this, I wanna rotate my hips, right? So I'm here, I'll bring this knee up and I slam it into the side of the bag here, and then same thing on the other side. Switch. Everyone leads us right back to that nice balanced stance. Rotate your hips, use your core, generate the best workout possible. All right, guys, that does it for this video. Hopefully there were some helpful details in there for you. Anytime we can throw with proper technique, we're not only gonna generate a lot more power on our strikes, but we're also gonna get a much better workout, and we're gonna stay a lot safer as we're doing it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We have more videos coming. Please leave me a like if you made it this far, and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see in the next one. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the Strike Kickboxing class really, really soon.